In a dramatic and chilling turn of events, California's Central Valley turned into something straight out of winter on Friday, April 10th, 2026. A powerful, fast-moving storm system tore through Stanislaus County, unleashing a sudden and intense display of nature's force. Residents in Modesto and Turlock, used to calm spring weather this time of year, were caught completely off guard. Instead of gentle April breezes, people heard a deafening roar as hail the size of marbles to quarters slammed down from the sky. Streets were quickly covered, cars were battered, and entire neighborhoods were left stunned by what they were witnessing. The day didn't start out this way. Early on, there was an unusual humidity hanging over the valley, thick, heavy, and just a little unsettling. By late afternoon, the sky began to shift. The horizon darkened into a deep, ominous charcoal gray, signaling that something serious was building. Then, at around 5:45 Pacific Daylight Time, the National Weather Service in Sacramento issued an urgent severe thunderstorm warning for Modesto, Turlock, and surrounding areas. Meteorologists had been tracking a rapidly developing storm cell, one showing strong vertical growth, a key indicator that large hail was likely on the way. And within minutes, it began. At first, it was just a light tapping, small pellets hitting rooftops, cars, and pavement, but that didn't last long. The storm quickly intensified, turning into a relentless barrage. "It sounded like 1,000 hammers hitting my roof all at once," said Elena Rodriguez, a resident in North Modesto. "I looked out the window and I couldn't even see my neighbor's house across the street. Everything was just white." As the storm pushed south toward Turlock, it reached its peak intensity. On Highway 99, traffic came to a complete standstill. Visibility dropped to near zero as hail poured down in thick sheets. Drivers pulled over wherever they could, many taking shelter under overpasses, hoping to protect their vehicles from the pounding ice. In downtown Turlock, the scene was almost surreal. The hail accumulated so quickly that it looked like heavy snowfall. Within minutes, the ground was coated in a thick layer of ice. What should have been a typical spring evening instead felt like the middle of winter. The hailstones, ranging from about half an inch to a full inch in diameter, began clogging storm drains. Water had nowhere to go, and localized flash flooding quickly followed. Parking lots turned into slick, dangerous surfaces. Streets became slushy and difficult to navigate. Despite the conditions, public works crews stepped in immediately. Braving the storm, they worked to clear blocked drains and remove debris, trying to prevent the situation from getting even worse. For many residents, it was a day they won't soon forget, a sudden, violent reminder of just how unpredictable nature can be. Stanislaus County sits at the heart of California's agricultural belt, and the timing of this storm couldn't have been worse. April is a critical period for almond orchards and stone fruit crops. Right now, farmers are out in the fields assessing the damage, and the outlook is concerning. The heavy hail may have knocked off young fruit and damaged delicate blossoms, putting a serious dent in this season's harvest. Across residential neighborhoods, the damage is just as visible. Reports are pouring in: shattered skylights, cracked windshields, and gardens completely torn apart. Leaves stripped, plants flattened. "The sheer amount of ice is what shocked us the most," said city official Marcus Thorne. "We get small hail once in a while, but this looked like something you'd expect in the Midwest or the Great Plains, not here in the Central Valley." So what caused something this intense? Climatologists say it came down to a clash in the atmosphere. A pool of cold air high above collided with the warm air rising from the valley floor during the day. That instability created powerful updrafts, strong enough to keep ice forming and growing inside storm clouds. Those ice particles kept circulating, getting bigger and heavier, until finally gravity pulled them down as solid hailstones. While hail isn't unheard of in California, the sheer intensity and duration of this storm have longtime residents calling it a once-in-a-decade event. Throughout the evening, local police and fire departments stayed on high alert. Thankfully, there have been no major injuries, but officials are urging people to stay off the roads. As the ice begins to melt, it's creating dangerously slick conditions, increasing the risk of hydroplaning. As the sun set over Modesto and Turlock, the chaos slowly gave way to an eerie calm. The sound of sirens faded, replaced by something unexpected, the scraping of shovels. Neighbors stepped outside, not to clear snow, but to scoop piles of hail off their driveways and porches. A surreal ending to a day when the California sky turned cold and unforgiving. According to the National Weather Service, the main storm system has moved through, but the atmosphere is still unstable. Scattered showers could continue into the weekend. Residents are being encouraged to document any property damage for insurance claims and to stay alert for further weather updates. For now, Modesto and Turlock are left with a story they won't forget anytime soon. The day spring turned to ice and the valley stood still. And now, as the ice slowly melts away, the financial impact is starting to come into focus. Early estimates suggest the damage could reach tens of millions of dollars, driven largely by agriculture and property losses. For a region known as the almond capital of the world, this couldn't have come at a worse time. Agricultural experts say hail of this size can be devastating. Young almond crops just beginning to develop are especially vulnerable. A storm like this doesn't just knock the fruit off, it can bruise the trees themselves, leaving them open to disease in the weeks ahead. Some early projections suggest crop losses in affected areas could range anywhere from 15 to 30%. And it's not just almonds. Grapevines, peaches, apricots, many orchards are reporting severe damage. Leaves shredded, branches stressed, making it harder for trees to recover and support healthy growth moving forward. Meteorologists say this storm had all the markings of a powerful and rare system for the region. It developed into a structure more commonly seen in severe weather zones, fueled by unusually high atmospheric energy for this time of year. What made it even more unusual was how slowly it moved. Instead of passing quickly, the storm lingered over populated areas, allowing hail to build up several inches deep. It wasn't just the size of the hail that caused the damage, it was the sheer volume and how long it lasted. And now a new concern is emerging. As temperatures fluctuate overnight, the slush and melted hail left on the roads will refreeze, turning into dangerous black ice. Officials are urging everyone in Modesto and Turlock to be extremely cautious. Treat every wet patch on the road as a potential hazard. Crews are working non-stop, clearing storm drains to prevent additional flooding as the remaining ice melts. A spokesperson from Turlock Public Works explained the situation, saying, "We've deployed every available piece of equipment, including snowplows and backhoes that we almost never use for this kind of situation. Right now, we're focused on clearing massive hail piles from major intersections. This is something we rarely deal with, but keeping commuters safe is our top priority. Cleanup will likely continue through the weekend." According to the National Weather Service, a winter storm watch remains in effect from Friday evening through Sunday night, April 12th. The advisory extends beyond the valley and into the Sierra Nevada, impacting areas like Quincy, Chester, and Blue Canyon. Travel in those mountain regions could become extremely difficult or even impossible due to moderate to heavy snowfall. Officials are asking anyone planning to travel to prepare ahead and stay updated on conditions. Meanwhile, in a completely different part of the country, severe weather is also making headlines. In Miami-Dade County, Florida, a powerful storm brought unexpected destruction earlier this week. In the Palm Springs North neighborhood, a large tree, one that had stood strong through past hurricane-force winds, came crashing down onto a parked car. During cleanup efforts, local resident Gerardo Partardo stood in disbelief. "That's my neighbor's roof," he said, pointing to debris scattered across the area. What many didn't realize at the time was that a tornado had actually touched down. The National Weather Service later confirmed that a tornado with peak winds between 65 and 85 miles per hour struck the area around 4:45 p.m. on Tuesday. For some residents, it was a wake-up call. "Take these warnings seriously," one local said. "I never used to, but now I know this is real." The storm moved quickly, but left a clear path of damage behind. Videos from the area show hail falling as structures were torn apart. A wooden playset was crushed by falling debris. Strong winds whipped across a nearby lake, creating large waves that pushed a small boat out of the water, nearly flipping it over. Tree limbs, broken fences, and scattered debris covered the neighborhood. In some places, fallen trees even lifted sections of sidewalk out of the ground. Cleanup crews now face a long road ahead as they work to restore order. And the threat isn't over yet. Forecasters are warning that more storms could develop across parts of South Florida by Thursday afternoon. Weather officials confirmed that the tornado in northwest Miami-Dade traveled roughly half a mile, cutting across a lake and several residential blocks before quickly lifting back into the storm system. Even though the tornado didn't stay on the ground for long, it was strong enough to cause noticeable damage, especially to trees, fences, and outdoor structures. Backyard furniture was tossed around like toys, a clear reminder of how unpredictable and powerful these storms can be. From California to Florida, this week has shown just how quickly conditions can change and how important it is to stay alert when severe weather strikes. Other residents in the area reported mostly minor damage, things like roof shingles torn loose, damaged gutters, and ripped awnings. There were a few homes with blue tarps covering sections of their roofs after the storm, one official explained. But overall, most of the damage was relatively minor. Still, for those who experienced it firsthand, the storm felt anything but minor. Local resident John Baptista shared video footage showing just how intense the winds were. In the clip, his awning is violently ripped from the ground, while a children's playset and other yard items are tossed across his property like they weigh nothing. And while temperatures hovered around 80 degrees, the conditions told a completely different story. Over 2 days, powerful squall-like storms swept across Florida, from the Treasure Coast all the way down to the Keys. These storms weren't just heavy, they were relentless. Floodwaters rose quickly, lifting manhole covers straight out of the streets. Torrential rain overwhelmed drainage systems, leaving roads submerged and dangerous. Even affluent island communities found themselves pinned down by intense rainfall and flash flooding. The system, fueled by a late-season cold front and packed with moisture, was originally expected to drop around 2 to 4 inches of rain along Florida's east coast. But in many areas, those estimates were far exceeded. In West Palm Beach, official monitoring stations recorded nearly 5.9 inches of rain over just 2 days at Palm Beach International Airport, the highest total in that city since June 2022. Miami wasn't far behind, with just over 4 inches recorded at Miami International Airport. Vero Beach saw more than 3 inches as well. Independent rain gauges across South Florida painted an even more intense picture. Some areas recorded over 4 inches of rain in a single day. Others saw totals nearing that mark within hours. We were able to manage it, but it was heavy, said a public information officer from the city of Riviera Beach. And with that kind of rainfall, danger followed quickly. Officials warned about the risks of driving through flooded streets, something many people still underestimate. You'll see drivers just pushing through standing water, he said, but you can't tell how deep it is, and that's where it becomes deadly. The storm's impact was felt across entire neighborhoods. Traffic lights were knocked out. Small palm trees were uprooted on Singer Island. In one case, a pothole became so large that crews had to dump 15 bags of asphalt patch into it while the storm was still happening. Police also reported something unusual and dangerous. Manhole covers were lifted and carried away by floodwaters along a major roadway, creating hidden hazards beneath the surface. And in the middle of it all, residents found themselves trying to make it home safely. One driver, navigating through rising water, could be heard saying, "I hope I make it. Oh God, just help me get through this and get home." It's a raw moment that captures the reality of these storms. Fast, unpredictable, and far more dangerous than they may seem at first glance.